Now to the United States. It's the land of the free, but conditions apply. And that condition is gender. If you're a man, America is the place to be. You can flaunt your guns, spew hate on podcasts, even plot attacks on the US Capitol. But if you're a woman, tough luck. You can't even control your own body. The US government will do that for you. Let me tell you about a new court ruling. It will limit access to one particular abortion pill. This one, it's called Mifepristone. It's a very important medicine. It makes up more than 50% of all abortions in the US. Until now, it was easy to get. The pill could be shipped via mail. It could also be prescribed by medics who are not doctors. And the time frame was 10 weeks. Mifepristone could be taken up to week 10 of the pregnancy. But the new court ruling opposes this. No mail shipments, no telephone prescriptions, and no 10-week rule. The court says the pill must be taken within 7 weeks. There is a caveat though. The restrictions won't be imposed immediately. The US Supreme Court will be hearing this case soon. It is their decision that counts, and honestly, that's even worse. It's like betting on oil companies to reverse climate change. They are the problem. And what if the Supreme Court upholds this verdict? Then abortion pills will become even harder to get in the US. And I emphasize on the word even harder because 20 American states have effectively banned abortion already. This court case is all about taking it national, to destroy a woman's right to choose. What is President Joe Biden doing about this? He hasn't said anything so far, but expect a generic statement, something about defending the rights of women. And I know what most people will say, it's the court's decision, not Biden's. Yes, it is. But presidents are not powerless figureheads. Their words and actions are important, and Biden's words and actions do not inspire confidence. In June this year, he was addressing a campaign event. No cameras, though. It was only for donors. The White House later published a transcript of what he said, and listen to what he said. I happen to be a practicing Catholic. I'm not big on abortion. But guess what? Roe versus Wade got it right. This is what Biden said. Most people already knew this. Biden, the individual, is opposed to abortion. Biden, the president, supports it. But was it really necessary to say that? And that too in the middle of a national crisis on reproductive rights. Why should women trust Joe Biden after what he's been saying? Imagine him saying the same thing about climate change. I don't believe it's real, but I will fight it. How absurd would that be? My point is, the president is dragging his feet. He talks passionately about Ukraine. He rails about gun rights. But on abortion, he's half-hearted at best. Why? Because he's not big on it. This isn't just about one political party or one court. It's a collective failure of the United States. But who will criticize them? The world is handling America with kid gloves. I'll show you how. A 13-year-old girl recently gave birth in the US, 13. She lived in Mississippi. She was raped. Then she was denied abortion at the local clinic. A 13-year-old, let me repeat that, a child herself. She's just taken admission in class 7, and she has a baby. The world has said nothing about this. Now consider what happened in Peru. An 11-year-old girl was raped by her stepfather. She too was denied abortion at first, but then the United Nations intervened. They lobbied with the Peruvian government, and guess what happened? It worked. The state doctors authorized the abortion of the girl in Peru. Do you see the difference in attitude? Silence in America, intervention elsewhere. What they did with Peru must be applauded. It was the right thing to do. But their silence on the US must also be questioned. We can't keep dismissing this as America's domestic political issue. It is a human rights crisis. 25 million women cannot choose whether to have a child or not in America. How is this internal politics? And the same America then judges other countries. You may remember the anti-hijab protests in Iran last year. Do you know what Biden said then? We stand with the women of Iran. How wonderful. Maybe stand with the women of America too. The US has criticized most of the world on human rights. They have a special report just for it. For 5 decades, America has published the Human Rights Report. Every country gets a chapter, every country except the United States of America. We're not saying standing up for women elsewhere is wrong, or that Iran's women are better off than American women. We are saying put your own house in order. You don't have control over the Ayatollah in Iran. You don't have control over the Taliban in Afghanistan, but you do have control over your own country. So fix what you can, then fix the world.